What's up guys, Brandy Carr here, back with another video. It's that time of year again, my favorite time of the year, Throwback Weekend. And as you can clearly see, I am dressed for the occasion. The Spring Darlington Weekend may not be officially promoted as Throwback Weekend by NASCAR anymore, but that hasn't stopped teams from running throwbacks regardless. Today, we're going to tier rank the 2026 Darlington Throwbacks from Hall of Fame all the way down to trash. Starting off with Clayton Green's throwback to his father, Steve Green. I did a lot of digging, trying to find what exact car this is supposed to be throwing back to, but unfortunately, I couldn't find it. So, I don't have a reference to gauge how good or bad this throwback is. So, I'll have to go in the middle and put it in the okay tier. Next up, we have AJ Allmendinger's throwback to the 90s Mopar look. Yep, it's a corporate throwback, and a pretty underwhelming one at that. They tried. Next up, we have Caden Honeycutt's throwback to Johnny Benson. I am so glad that Safelite ditched the white van paint scheme for Darlington and started doing actual throwbacks, because this is amazing. The best part about the truck throwbacks is when they do throwbacks to legends of that series. And this Johnny Benson throwback is superb. Straight to the Hall of Fame. Next up, we have Brendan Queen's throwback to the 1952 Cummins Diesel Special, the first Indy car ever tested in a wind tunnel and the only diesel to win the pole for the Indy 500. Nice little piece of historical trivia there. It is pretty difficult to translate an open wheel livery onto a different kind of race car, but this one was simple enough to where they could translate it onto a NASCAR truck without any issue, and it makes for a pretty good looking throwback. It's a blast from the past. Next up, we have Minnie Tyrell's throwback to the generic Dodge paint scheme from the 2000s. When Dodge returned to NASCAR and the Truck Series, everybody knew this throwback was a must. And they pulled it off almost perfectly. My only gripe with this throwback is the number. What's strange to me about Colleague is that they entered 5 trucks into the Darlington race. 4 of them ran throwbacks, and only 2 of them actually bothered to change the number font for the sake of the throwback. The other 2 just kept a normal Colleague font, this one included. It's a great throwback, don't get me wrong, but that number just bothers me. Still a blast from the past either way. Next up, we have Gio Ruggiero's throwback to Darrell Waltrip. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what I call the perfect throwback. Everything about it is just simply perfect. Easy Hall of Fame. Next up, we have Josh Rayom's throwback to Michael Annette's 2019 Daytona win in the Xfinity Series. This is going to sound very morbid, but Michael Annette's passing sort of got overshadowed by Greg Biffle's tragic aircraft accident, because Greg Biffle got all the touching tributes in the Daytona 500 weekend, and Michael Annette got nothing besides a rest in peace graphic. Until now, of course. And this won't be the only. It wasn't the only Michael Annette throwback run over the weekend. It is very heartwarming to see that Michael Annette has not been forgotten about and is getting his flowers. Hall of Fame throwback right here. Next up, we have Corey LaJoy's throwback to his father, Randy LaJoy. This throwback is almost perfect, but the number is what holds it back. This was the other colic throwback I was talking about that just ran the normal colic font. I don't know why they did that, but they did it, and it holds the throwback back from being Hall of Fame. So, it's going in the blast from the past here. Next up, we have Frankie Muniz's throwback to Dave Blaney. Team Rayom ran a poll on social media allowing fans to choose which throwback Frankie Muniz would run in the Darlington truck race, and this was the throwback that won. I will be tier ranking the other 3 throwbacks as well. It's not a shameless attempt at padding out this video's runtime. What are you talking about? Anyway, Dave Blaney has run quite a few variants of this Omoko paint scheme over the years, so I'll give Team Rayom the benefit of the doubt with this throwback. They did a great job replicating the paint scheme, and I love how the Lucid Trading logo on the hood is stylized to look like the Omoko logo. Really great looking throwback. Hall of Fame. Next up, we have Frankie Muniz's throwback to Lenny Pond. A near perfect recreation of the original paint scheme, except for the hood stripes. On the throwback, it's red, black, and blue on either side of the hood, while on the original scheme, it was red on the left side of the hood and black and blue on the right side of the hood. However, I do like the hood design on the throwback. It looks more clean that way. But then the black truck bed throws everything off. So, yeah. It's not perfect, but it is a blast from the past. Next up, we have Frankie Muniz's throwback to Jeff Gordon's 2000 Pepsi car from the Busch Series. This is one I'm glad didn't win. I like how the Lucid Trading logo is stylized to look like the Pepsi logo, but that's about the only compliment I can give to this throwback. Everything else is just wrong. The color is wrong, and the color gradient is almost non-existent. You tried. Next up, we have Frankie Muniz's throwback to Robert Presley. Now this is a perfect throwback. I love how they have the little cowboy hat and bandana on the Lucid Trading ball on the hood there. That's a really nice touch. Now I'm wishing that this throwback won over the Dave Blaney throwback. It would have been really cool seeing this throwback on track. But if it's any consolation, I'm putting it in the Hall of Fame tier. That does it for the Truck Series throwbacks. Now moving on to the O'Reilly Series throwbacks. Starting off with Garrett Smithley's throwback to his days at JD Motorsports. Who all had JD Motorsports on their 2026 throwback bingo card? I certainly didn't. This throwback was a lovely surprise. I do miss JD Motorsports and their Flex Seal sponsorship. This throwback is a nice memory of simpler times. I love how Nightfire Protection stylized their logo to mimic the Flex Seal logo. That's a very nice touch. Surefire blast from the past. Next up, we have Dean Thompson's throwback to Greg Biffle, one of 5 Greg Biffle throwbacks run over the Darlington weekend. And it is absolutely incredible. Everything about this throwback is just simply perfect. The Thompson Pipe Group logo is stylized to look like the 3M logo. You have the 26 stylized in the classic Greg Biffle 16 font. What more can you ask for in a throwback? Hall of Fame. Next up, we have Matt DiBenedetto's throwback to Michael Annett. This is the other Michael Annett throwback I was talking about earlier. Unfortunately, Matt DiBenedetto failed to qualify for the O'Reilly-Darlington race. So, we did not get to see this throwback race on track, which is a real shame. But if it's any consolation, I'm putting it in the Hall of Fame tier. Next up, we have Brendan Pohl's throwback to Greg Biffle, commemorating his back-to-back Southern 500 wins. This throwback is nothing short of incredible. The way the National Guard and Subway logos are mimicked on here is phenomenal. Alpha Prime Racing is the undisputed king of throwbacks in the O'Reilly series. Hall of Fame throwback right here. Next up, we have Austin Green's throwback to his father, David Green. I'm going to be honest, I did not know Austin Green was David Green's son. I never thought to make that connection. I just thought Austin Green was just some guy. But anyway, a phenomenal looking throwback. I love how the three-dimensional logo is stylized to mimic the Slim Jim logo, especially on the hood with the 3-dim easy Hall of Fame for this one. That's it for the O'Reilly series throwbacks. Now it's time to look at the Cup Series throwbacks, starting with Brad Keselowski's throwback to Greg Biffle. RFK Racing ran a trio of throwbacks over the Darlington weekend, and they were all amazing. I'm sure Greg Biffle is looking down and smiling from ear to ear because these are all very touching and heartwarming throwbacks. Hall of Fame. Next up, we have Chris Buescher's throwback to Greg Biffle. There is nothing more I can say about the Greg Biffle throwbacks that aren't just high praise, because everyone did a great job with the Greg Biffle throwbacks. I'm not going to waste any more time and just put this throwback in the Hall of Fame. Next up, we have Joey Logano's throwback to Shell's victory in the 2019 Bathurst 1000. This throwback was definitely a surprise. It did not run at Darlington. It ran at Phoenix. And according to this graphic, it's a Team Penske 60th anniversary throwback. I am not a follower of supercars, but it is cool to see them get shown some love by Team Penske here with this throwback. Blast from the past. Next up, we have Todd Gilliland's throwback to Bill Elliott's 1985 Coors car. If I had a nickel for every time the Front Row Motorsports 34 team ran a Bill Elliott throwback, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. This is a very disappointing throwback to me, because it just mimics the paint scheme and does nothing else to add to it. The number font's the same, and they just use the regular Rudabush logo. They don't stylize the number, they don't stylize the logo. It's just the base paint scheme, and that's it. They ran this exact throwback 5 years ago, and they pulled it off very well. I don't know why they decided to revisit it this year, but they did, and they did a poor job with it. It still isn't the worst Bill Elliott throwback ever. That title still goes to Chase Elliott's 2015 throwback, but it still leaves a lot to be desired. Given that a lot of drivers over the weekend did throwbacks to their fathers, I don't know why Todd couldn't do a throwback to his father, David, and his days at Front Row Motorsports. The opportunity was right there, but instead, they decided to do a rehash of a throwback they already did. I was originally going to put this throwback in the "you tried" tier, but the more I think about it in context, the more it pisses me off. So I'm putting it in the trash. Next up, we have Zane Smith's throwback to Elliott Sadler. A yellow splitter would have been nice on this throwback, but other than that, it does a pretty good job at recreating the original paint scheme. It's a blast from the past. Next up, we have John Hunter Nemechek's throwback. I know what you're saying, but BrandyCar, this isn't a throwback. This is just his regular Dollar Tree primary paint scheme. Let me refresh your memory. Back in 2024, when they revealed this paint scheme, they tried to pass it off as a Harry Gant throwback. And absolutely nobody was buying it, because it looks nothing like any of the paint schemes that Harry Gant drove in his day. That sort of just got forgotten about, but I'm not going to let them forget. Throwback or not, it's going in the trash. Next up, we have Eric Jones's throwback to Wally Dallenbach. This is the second year in a row that Advent Health is running an STP throwback. Legacy Motor Club still has the STP sponsorship, right? So why aren't they doing the STP throwbacks? Are they afraid of trademark infringement on their own design or something? The hood on this one is just really awkward, because you have the orange stripe going on the top, and then it just abruptly ends before the Advent Health logo. And it just looks really weird. My suggestion would be stylizing the Advent Health logo to mimic the STP logo and marrying it up with the middle stripe to match the design on the original car. But as is with the regular Advent Health logo and the abrupt end of the stripe, it just looks so awkward. The rest of the throwback is fine though, so I'll put it in the okay tier. Next up, we have Ryan Preece's throwback to Greg Biffle, the 5th Greg Biffle throwback overall, and the 3rd Greg Biffle throwback in the trio of RFK throwbacks. I have nothing more to add about the Greg Biffle throwbacks. All I have left to say is, of course, Hall of Fame. And for our final throwback, we have Carson Hocevar's throwback to Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s Wrangler car. Wow, a Dale Sr. Wrangler throwback. That hasn't been done before. Not at all. They did a good job replicating the paint scheme and the number font, but the regular Chili's logos just don't sit right with me. It's two different styles clashing, and they just don't do it for me. Maybe if Chili stylized their logo to look like the Wrangler logo, I'd have a more favorable opinion about this throwback, but as is, it just gives an awkward vibe to me, like Eric Jones's throwback. I'm sorry. You tried. And here it is, my definitive 2026 Darlington throwback tier list. Do you agree with my tier rankings? If not, how would you rank these throwbacks? Let me know in the comments below. A very underwhelming weekend in terms of the number of throwbacks run, but there were still a plethora of absolute gems run this weekend. With Throwback Weekend no longer being promoted by NASCAR, part of me hopes that both Darlington weekends will be de facto throwback weekends. Hopefully, more throwbacks are run during the Southern 500 weekend. And who knows, maybe North Wilkesboro will become a throwback weekend too. We'll just have to wait and see. But with all that said, we've come to the end of the video. If you want to see more of me, be sure to follow all my socials, like my Twitter, my Instagram, and join my Discord server. Links to all those are in the description down below. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe to my channel for more NASCAR content. While you're at it, hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thank you all so much for watching. That's it from me. Peace.